Not to like spoil the review, but this here is an album of the year contender.
I feel these legs are trying to break me as the dark air takes me. The pound.
Carving the Stone is David Balfe's second record under the For Those I Love moniker. And I think it comes as a surprise to many of us who enjoyed his 2021 self-titled debut that Balfe continued this project at all. But I am ecstatic that he did. Carving the Stone casts a wider net than its precursor, picking apart the decay and the hollowing out of Dublin and its culture. Along with general themes of life, love and loss, this record also explores emigration, existential boredom and online culture. Now, as someone who is not working class and who has only lived in Dublin for about 2 years, I can't really lay claim to much of the sentiment that this record holds, but Balfe's capacity to recognise granular detail as well as his sheer skill as a spoken word poet ensure that by the end of this tight 45-minute LP, you have run the emotional gauntlet with it. It helps, of course, that the jittery, garbled electronic instrumentals that form the core of Carving the Stone are just as compelling as the lyrics. I'm left feeling that Carving represents a more fully realised, more complete version of what For Those I Love can be as a musical project. Take the lead single of The Sorrows, which is bookended by samples of casual, albeit emotionally loaded conversations about emigration. On it, Balfe parses out the feeling of being tethered to the place that you grew up, while opportunities and reasons to leave beckon constantly. And then, out of nowhere, this fiddle passage comes along like a shaft of light between clouds. It's just one of many moments on Carving the Stone where traditional music is interspersed with the electronic elements to illustrate a kind of a homeliness or the culture that is being hollowed out of Dublin by emigration and post-modernity. For a quick summary of this hollowing out, look no further than the line in No Scheme, which describes Dublin as being held together by surveillance and vapes. This track really homes in on the phenomenon of young people being lost to boredom and spending all of their time absorbed in the online world. But it's Mirror that takes this phenomenon to the furthest extent, as he calls out so-called concerned citizens and defenders of women who use that online absorption to radicalize people against those who seek to live a better life in Ireland. On a smaller level, Carving features some stunningly rendered, living and breathing portraits of individuals. No Quiet revolves around a woman who can't catch a break in Dublin, but also can't bring herself to leave Dublin. And the deeply moving The Ox, The Afters captures a mentor of Balfe's in all of his glory and all of his tragedy. The album is haunted by characters like The Ox, but there is an exaltation in here too. And it's encapsulated on the closing moments of the album on I Came Back to See the Stone Had Moved. We're pulled this way and that between Balfe's announcement that at 32, he's quite proud of the life that he's lived, to a pitch-shifted folk duet, to a slightly bizarre bagpipe rendering of Amazing Grace. It's disorienting, sure, but the emotional heft of this whole album that is brought home in these last few minutes is immense. So yeah, For Those I Love, Carving the Stone, potentially my album of the year.
The hate is to love and hang 'em out to dry as soon as they're done.